Evolution Meditation. I am Michelle and I am your motivator. On this terrific Tuesday, on this Turn It Up Tuesday, we come in the mighty name of the Most High Creator. Now, we're going to begin our meditation off by starting with our deep breathing because we understand that it's the power of the breath that keeps us alive. So as we begin to do this, I want to encourage you on this day. I want to let you know you are the greatest version of yourself. I want you to know that nothing that you will encounter today, you have been equipped for it. So nothing that you may encounter will find you unaware of your power and your spirit and your anointing. This is the greatest day. This is your only reality. This is your now here. This is your present moment. This is your greatest awareness of who you are. And as you enter this day, you will enter this day with power. You will enter this day with force. You will enter this day with the greatest anointing that you've ever experienced in your life. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to begin to breathe. Remember, we take our breath from our lowest point of our spine, which is called our root chakra. The root chakra is an energy point, and it is going to allow you to ground yourself during the day. So when you bring your breath from your root chakra all the way up to the very top, which is your highest chakra, once you do that, you will begin to feel the power moving. It also clears out any toxin. It clears out anything that has caused you previously or that will cause you any toxicity in your system, in your breathing, in your energy. So let's breathe in and hold it. We're going to hold it for 4 counts, and then we're going to let it go. When you let it go, it is powerful that you push the air out with sound. As you begin to push the air out with sound, you find yourself and define yourself as the power being released from you that would have stopped you. So it's like a force. So let's do it. Let's breathe. So you're saying, I'm releasing this. I am not carrying this toxic waste with me today. Let's do it again. And you'll feel the energy in your body begin to tingle. Let's do it again. As you push it out, I promise you, nothing by any means shall hurt you today, shall harm you today, shall knock you back, shall stop you, shall interfere with who you are and whose you are. So today we're going to begin to talk about fear annihilates your vision. What we have not been informed about is fear. Fear is the absence. Fear is the actual absence of love. And we always thought the opposite of love was hate, but it's not. Fear is the absence of love. And why do I say that? Because when you're loved, when you're comforted, when everything around you is on a balance or a stability, then you're fine. But fear causes you to lose your vision. And if the people don't have a vision, they perish. So this whole world, this whole governing your mental is based on fear. If you look around you, everything is based on fear. If you don't pay your car note, they're going to come and take it. If you don't pay your gas bill, it's going to be everything is based on fear. But God has not given us that spirit. We picked up that spirit by some mental thought that has been placed, first of all, in our mind. Because in our head mind, fear, confusion, corruption is there. That's why we move to our heart mind where faith and the voice of God is. And then we can resonate to our head mind so that we get on a balanced level. Most of us are out of balance. We're out of balance in our energy field. We're out of balance in our thinking. We're out of balance in what we know. And so if you, once you know a thing, you cannot know it. So we have to move to a place and a space that we can relate, that we can walk in our reality. Remember, your only present, the present moment is your only reality. So as we begin to motivate ourselves and begin to move forward in knowing that fear is false. It's evidence appearing real. It's false. It's not even real. And if a person can get you to be focused on fear, then they have your mind. Because fear stops movement. It makes you a monument and not a movement. Now, the reason God never gave you the spirit of fear is because he gave you a spirit of love. Love overcomes. Now, unconditional love. I'm not talking about this knockoff love that we find ourselves in relationships with. I'm talking about unconditional love. See, the reason that most of our relationships do not last is because we have a fear of it not lasting. And if you bring fear into something, it begins to rule the situation. So we have to annihilate that. How do we annihilate fear? First of all, you annihilate fear with faith. Faith is a substance of a whole lot of things. Faith is. Faith is not might be, not starting to be or trying to be. Faith is a substance. It has a foundation. You can't believe in faith. You've got to know faith. And so in belief, we have some form of doubt. And so we cannot find ourselves in doubt, because when we're in doubt, we do without. So we have to do a examination like we talked about yesterday. You have to examine yourself daily. 6,000 to 7,000 thoughts go through your head mind in a day. And so you've got to define some order there. You've got to meditate. Early in the morning, you have to meditate. You have to clear your mind, because you have to hear. And you cannot hear through a lot of clutter. It frustrates you and it brings on fear. And what we must understand is that once you're fearful, your brain stops operating. It shuts down your body, because your brain is the CEO of your body. So if your brain gets in a spirit of fear, it shuts down the body, because at that point, your body is saying, we got to fight or we got to flight. So we cannot afford to live in that state of being. That is a temporary state of being for a temporary situation. Let me give you an example. If a deer is running from a lion, he goes in that fight or flight mode. He's either trying to get away or he's going to have to fight for his life. Once he reaches the point where he's at safety, he returns back to his established way of thinking, his created way of thinking. He's no longer thinking about, ooh, that lion was after me 5 minutes ago. He forgets that. And we as mankind have a problem with forgetting those things that are behind us. We continue to rehearse it over and over and over again. And after we begin to rehearse that thing that is over, then it begins to set in our body, and we begin to be stressful, depressed, anxiety, trauma, all of that from one thought of something that is no longer happening. Come on, people. Come on, let's get over some things. Let's get through some things. Let's find a resolution. Let's go in our soul and find a solution. Let's stop rehearsing the problem. The fear of something coming back is not going to happen, because your past can never return but here. That's one of the moments where you just say, ooh, because fear is annihilating our vision, and we're perishing because we're afraid to move in faith. And it doesn't mix. It's like oil and water. You can't mix all of that together. You got to find and define yourself as being more than just human, because we're having a human experience We are not human. This is good in the neighborhood. And so if we're going to annihilate fear, we've got to define what faith is for us. We have to define it not by what somebody else said, not by what somebody else did, but you have to define it for you. See, what we're doing is we're living in his story or her story and not our own story. And a lot of things are coming from an outside force. We are inner being. That's why I call this innervolution, because it's the inner parts that cause a revolution on the outside. We're working from the inside out, not the outside in. And so if they, whoever they are, can continue to convince you that everything going on outside of you is real, you'll continue to operate in fear, because all of this is an illusion. Everything that you see from your eyesight is an illusion, but everything that you see with your first eye, your third eye, your inner eye, your intuitional eye, is the reality of things. So we have to go in to annihilate fear. Let me tell you something. Fear is an outside force. Faith is an inside force. So you have to recognize, yes, there are some times when things happen and that first emergency feeling is fear. But we have to take that and we have to annihilate it. Because if we're going to say our Creator, our God, is keeping us, is preparing us, is protecting us, is providing for us, you got to talk to yourself. You got to bring yourself to the point where you not believe, but you know that no matter whatever state you find yourself in, there is a power that is so much greater. There is an element in the universe that causes the protection of you. You have to, we've been mind chained, or we've been taken to a point where people have gotten our minds. Get your mind back. You can't afford to give away your mind. You can't afford to allow people to put things in your gates, your eye gate, your ear gate, your sensing gate. You have got to bring yourself to a point that you know who you are, that you know your nationality, that you get your inheritance, that you get your birthrights. Everything in this space that we call the world, they stripped this from us and tried to make us forget that we forgot who we were. Once you understand that, once you take it to a point where you know that there is nothing that can happen in this universe, in this world, that can stop you. You're unstoppable when you operate in the presence of your power, when you operate in the presence of your energy, when you operate in the presence of your God. You're unstoppable. The sky's the limit. Your power is so much greater than you've been told. And so that's why I call myself a spiritual innervolutionist, because I go into the spirit, to my inner being, and I revolutionize my life. I've been called here for a purpose. You've been called here for a purpose. You're destined to be great. But if people fill your mind with all this negative energy, with all this negative talk, with all these negative actions, then you begin to be conditioned to that way of life. See, normal, what they told us was normal, it never was. It was deceitful. It was a deception. It was used to steal our joy, to steal our power, to steal our nationality, to steal our birthright, to steal our inheritance. After 2020, 400 years of slavery is over. Now, unless you know that it's over from the inside, because the outside is going to tell you it's still here. But when you free yourself from the inside, then you're going to allow yourself to live again and not just exist. We must take back our faith and annihilate fear. Remember, fear is the absence of love. For God so loved the world that he gave. He didn't give to you to take it all away from you. But we must not allow outside interference to take our power away. Because it's just like at the tree of good and evil. If you listen to outside interference, it will cause you to die. And when you eat of that fruit, what is that fruit? It's not an apple. That fruit is from the words of other people. When you know who you are and you know your worth, you never have to prove yourself to anybody. So if we don't stop listening from the outside in and start listening from the inside out, we're going to continue to walk in fear. We're going to continue to move in a place that we're not created to be. We are not slaves. Slavery is not over. It's not over. It's just now acceptable. Because we're still going to jobs where they tell us what to do, when to come, what they're going to pay us. They're telling us what our worth is. I'll pay you $15. You're only worth $15 to a company for 1 hour of your work. We're greater than that. We must create our own businesses. We must create and stop duplicating what somebody else has done. And so when you decide and when you know that you're worth more than $15 or $20, there is no worth on your time. There's no worth on your life of $15 or $16. And until we realize that money is energy, we'll continue to be a slave to it. We'll continue to love it. You can't get more money. You have to get more energy. The more energy that you put into a situation, you will then have finances. Finances. You got to take these words. Finances. That's what the word really means. Remember, the word system was designed to deceive us. And so we really have to dig deep into words to hear what the Spirit is saying to us about different words. Finances. Intimacy. You got to be able to hear what the Spirit is saying to you. So money is not the proper word. It is energy. Everything is made of energy. I promise you, when you increase your energy, your finances will increase. Your finding answers will increase. This is a place and a space, man, you must come to. When you get to this place, let me explain to you. Have not worked since the pandemic started. Still in my house. Me and my kids are still finding answers. We're not looking for money. We are finding answers. And as we begin to find those answers, we begin to move in a place and a space where God can use us. We're not bound down in stress and worries. We're in a place and a space where our energy will attract the finances. It's good in the neighborhood. I'm telling you. I'm not telling you something I read. I'm telling you what is working in my life today. And so as we move from fear, we move into faith. As we push fear away, faith comes in. And you will be surprised how the energy in the form of finances just pour into your life. Because we were not put here to be slaves. We were put here, and let me tell you something, slavery don't have anything to do with color. It has to do with the content of your character. If somebody can enslave the content of your character, it doesn't have anything to do with what color you are. So, in today's Michelleology, in the evolution of our meditation, as we meditate day and night, as we find a place and a space that we can dwell in the presence of our Savior, our God, our Creator. I don't care what you call Him as long as you call Him. the great I am. As we begin to say, I am great, anything that you put behind I am is a check that's cashed, whether negative or positive. Because really, I am is the name of God. Moses said, who shall I say sent me? He said, just tell him I am. And so we've got to be very conscious and awake when we use the word I am. And once you begin to speak those things and you begin to feel those things, you begin to attract those things. But you got to have a mindset, a heart mind first, line it up with your head mind, then begin to speak those things. God says, I'll give you what you see, not hear, but hear. As you begin to see those things, speak those things, feel those things, you attract those things. And you will be very excited and wonder, how did that happen? Miracles happen every second of the day. Miracles are not just when someone gets healed. Miracles happen. The act of God. My daughter's name is Miracle because they said I'd never be able to have kids. I have 2 kids, but I named my first child Miracle because it was an act of God. It went above what humans said. And when I begin to put on my calendar, I am going to be pregnant by my 40th birthday. And I was. And I had her on Thanksgiving. And so you see how God just lines up a thing with, he will give you what you see. So make sure that you're not seeing fear. Make sure fear is annihilated. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You're not going to see it at first. But when you remove fear from your vision, you begin to see. And you begin to see clearly. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. You begin to see greater than what you see with these. You begin to know that God is a present help, even in a time of trouble. And so in today's Michelleology, as we release this energy to you, as we allow God to use us to help you maneuver and define who you are, today I want you to say, as today's mantra, I am so full of faith, fear cannot enter in my territory. Yes, that's your mantra. I am so full of faith that fear cannot enter into my atmosphere. Yes, that's your mantra. And today, all day, remind yourself, I'm walking in faith. I'm being faith. I'm allowing faith. Remind yourself. As you begin to remind yourself, consciously, you'll deposit it in your subconscious. And when things happen and you're triggered, that what you planted will begin to bloom in your life. Well, this is Michelle, and I'm your motivator on this terrific Tuesday, on this Turn It Up Tuesday. Let's take it to the top and let's begin to live and stop existing. Yes. I hope today has been a blessing. Blessing just means an empowerment to prosper. I hope it has been an empowerment to prosper you in who you are, in knowing your true anointed self, and allowing yourself to be. Don't try to be, just be. Don't try to be like anybody else, just be. And when you just be, all your greatness comes out. You begin to affect the atmosphere. You begin to turn things around. There's a verse in the Bible that says, speak to the mountain and it shall be moved. The mountain is fear. And as you begin to speak faith to it, that mountain that was in front of you will still be there, but you'll be on the other side of it. So it'll be behind you. And you can't see it because it's behind you. So speak to the mountain and it shall be moved. The movement is your mindset. Let's take a breath. Let's breathe in and release. Meditation is medication. It's preventive medicine for whatever you're going to face. So meditate day and night. Find yourself a place in the space to remove the blockage of fear, to annihilate fear, and take yourself to the greatest version of you. I know it's a lot going on outside, but it's more going on the inside. Well, join me tomorrow at 10, right here, same place, and we're going to go higher and higher. Tell your friends about it. Share it if you can. We want to be able to reach as many people as possible, because when the universe allows all these minds to change and we come together, it's going to be an awesome place to live. Remember, fear is the absence of love. And if somebody's fearful of you, it's because they don't love themselves. Oh my God, we got to love ourselves before we can even tell anybody else. Because love is the greatest frequency in this whole entire space we live in. And remember, you've been created by the Creator to be creative. So start creating your creations and stop duplicating. I'm Michelle and I'm your motivator. In today's Michelleology, I am so excited about the life you're about to walk into. It is so awesome. Well, may the love, joy, peace, power, and sound-mindedness be your soul food for today. And remember, send me an email. Tell me what's going on with you. I do offer counseling, and you can afford it. I promise you. And don't let nobody tell you that you don't need counseling. We all need counseling. Even a counselor needs the counseling. So as we begin to move our mind and make a mind shift, as we're reversing those things that I'm trying to end this, but I just keep hearing stuff. We're in the reverse. We're not in normal. Stop looking for normal. It was never real. We're looking for this fifth dimensional awakening of unconditional love and freedom. And so if you're not walking in unconditional love and freedom, you're still in the third dimension of control. We're moving into authority. Again, I said we're taking back our nationalities, our birthrights, and our inheritance. And we're walking, we are a kingdom of richness. We're not barely getting along or trying to figure out how it's going to work out. We are in the kingdom, and the kingdom is within. And if you're not paying attention to your within kingdom, you're going to miss it. So we're in the reverse. They have to go back to the original way God designed us to operate in this earth. That's good news in the neighborhood. Yeah, I'm getting ready to get out of here. But listen, I know that this day, your reality, this is your only reality. Your past is an illusion. Your future is an illusion. This is the only reality that you can hold on to. This is the only reality that you can take authority over. There's nothing you can do about your past, and your present hasn't even come. Your future hasn't even come yet. But you have everything to do with this present moment. Yes. You see how this space, it's this creative space. Create your day. Don't let your day create you. I'm getting out of here for real this time. May the love, joy, peace, power, and sound-mindedness be your soul food for today. And on this terrific Tuesday, take it to the top. I don't want to see.